Hey guys, it's Mark here, and today I have the Vivo Y20 2021. That is a very long name, and I'm not really sure where do I really place this phone, at the entry level or maybe mid-range. So without further ado, let's get the video started today. Okay, let's start with the device design. The design is really good looking, especially at the back. It's really clean, and I really do love the dawn white. And it gives out a little bit of violet color at a certain angle, and the back is made out of plastic. Even though it looks like glass, but it's not. It still leaves some fingerprint on the back, but it's not as obvious as other colors. And the device is long, and it's actually lighter than my Redmi 9. And although it's long, so one-hand usage is going to be really tough. So on the top of the device there's nothing on it actually. And on the left side is the SIM tray. On the right side is the power button, and the power button double up as a fingerprint sensor and it's really super fast. And there's also a volume rocker as well, and it's super clicky. At the bottom of the device is the audio jack, microphone, micro USB charging port, and a loudspeaker grill. I can't believe they call this a 2021 edition when they are still using micro USB, and the device costs around RM 599, so I really don't think it's that much worth it. And the single bottom firing speaker at the bottom is pretty loud. It gets very muffled, even though when you compare to my entry level Redmi 7A, I think my Redmi 7A sounded so much better. The device is running on FunTouch OS 11 and is running on Android 10. It does come with some bloatwares, and what annoys me the most is that I can't turn off the notification for V App Store and the browser that keeps up popping notification almost every single day. And I don't really understand why the Vivo browser need access to my telephone and contacts. Same goes with the app stores, and it's very funny how they don't ask and just allow them anywhere. The display features an IPS LCD display with 6.51 inch with a 20:9 aspect ratio with a display resolution of 720 by 1600 display, and it also comes with a water drop notch design, which isn't that bad, but I'm still not a fan of it. Even though I'm still using my Redmi 9, I do not like the water drop notch. It actually annoys me a lot if you have like a lot of notification. And the bigger size is like great for viewing content, and there's a little bit of chin at the bottom, not that little bit, but you know, it's just right there. But at this price point, it's just really not really necessary for me to complain about, but it can be done better. The display is not too bad, and it does get bright enough and has good viewing angle. Again, the auto brightness is really annoying for me because it's not really accurate, but you can manually adjust it. And there's also a pre-applied screen protector film, but it's better for you to find a better screen protector. The Y20 2021 packs with a huge 5000 mAh power battery. The battery life for this phone is something that I can really praise, and it can definitely last you the entire day or maybe even 2 days, which is really great. Even on standby mode, it doesn't drain much at all. I could actually leave it not charging for a day or two without worrying the battery life. The phone does come with a 10-watt charging brick and also support 10-watt charging as well, but it's a bit slow. I mean, it's actually quite slow. It takes around 2 hours or maybe more or less depending on what kind of percentage that you charge your phone at. I mean, it's still quite slow. Gaming on the other hand, I would say I wasn't really impressed with gaming on this phone, but it's definitely playable. It does get warm sometimes as well. and you can definitely play PUBG, Mobile Legend, Wild Rift or COD with no issue at all. It's just that the setting is set to low. But once you load Genshin Impact or maybe the game that I always play like Super Mecha Champion, you'll notice the lag in the game, which is really bad. Even with Genshin Impact, it managed to crash like 3 times. The Vivo Y2021 is running on MediaTek Helio P35. It comes with one version of configuration, which is 64GB of storage with 4GB of RAM, and probably in other region it has 6GB of RAM with 64GB of storage. The one I have here is 64GB of storage with 4GB of RAM. The 4GB of RAM definitely help a lot with multitasking, and also the large storage is good, and also there's a micro SD card expansion, which is a huge plus. And here is the Geekbench score for the Redmi 9 and also the Vivo Y20 2021. The fingerprint sensor, as I mentioned earlier, is like super fast, and also there's also a face unlock option, which is pretty fast as well. It's quite snappy. I actually really do like it, but sometimes I just couldn't tell whether that the face unlock is really unlocked or not, because I really couldn't tell the animation on the top. Maybe I'm just not used to it or something, I'm not really sure about it. The Vivo Y2021 features a triple camera setup. The main camera has a 30MP sensor with an f-stop of 1.8, and there's a 2MP macro and depth sensor. The camera is actually surprisingly good, and of course there's no night mode. I don't really expect much for this kind of prices, and definitely for normal day-to-day use and taking pictures is actually not bad at all. Actually, I think that this phone is good for camera, even though it's 30MP, but it does capture a lot of details and also quite color accurate and maybe a little bit saturated and punchy a little bit, but you know, the result might come out quite pleasing. The 2MP macro camera, I mean sure, you can get close to subject, but the detail isn't great at all. It's better that you use the main camera and have it on 1x or 2x digital zoom, which you can definitely get better results. The selfie camera features an 8MP shooter with an f-stop of 1.8. The 8MP front camera takes a reasonable looking selfies. It applies heavy-handed beauty filter by default, and that is something that you definitely want to turn it off unless you're a fan of it. And if you switch to the selfie camera, it will automatically use the portrait option, which does all the heavy beauty features. And there's also portrait mode, which is called bokeh mode. I guess you have to select the lens for bokeh effects for the selfie camera, which does pretty neat and add on for bokeh effect. This is the Vivo Y20 2021, and it's not really a good weather, but you know, it's a nice weather to stroll around, and this is maxed out at 1080p, so it doesn't look too bad. And apparently I have the digital zoom option, so if I toggle it, it doesn't look that great, but you know, don't use it. But overall it looks pretty decent, not too bad. I mean, it's gonna be a little bit shaky, but you know, I'm not expecting a lot of things from this device. One thing good about this phone is the camera department. I actually really like it. The phone looks great and it's quite detailed and punchy as well. So it's actually really not bad at all for the camera. So I'm gonna switch to the front facing right now. So this is the front facing, and yeah, apparently masked out definitely. And it doesn't look too bad from my view, but it looks a bit sluggish. As I walk, I notice there's a little bit drop of frame, but other than that, it looks pretty decent. I can still see the sky from the screen. It's not too bad. I mean, it's definitely dark and cloudy, but it looks like it's gonna rain soon anyway. So yeah, not too bad at all. One thing I forget to do is the focus on the rear camera, so I'm gonna try that right now. Okay, so right now let's try the rear camera focus. See, is it focus, or do I need to tap to focus? Definitely tap to focus more. If I go back here, yeah, definitely I need to tap to focus. Drop me a comment down below what you guys think. After using the Vivo Y2021, I can't really put my finger on where this phone is placed at. But for my experience, it felt more like an entry level. It doesn't feel like a mid-range, even though for the price itself, for $599, it still looks like an entry level. I really do like the design of the back, which is really satisfying to watch. And the display is not too bad, even though it's 720p, but it's really not that bad. And the battery life is something that I can give them so much credit for, is how their software handles battery, which is amazing. But the speaker is really horrendous. But for $599, the Redmi 9 looks so much better right now. It's probably a better option and it's cheaper for the 64GB of storage with 4GB of RAM. Or even the real Redmi 9T for the same price as well. And definitely I feel like the Redmi 9, the Redmi 9T is definitely a better option. But I definitely would suggest for go Redmi 9T because it's newer and it has better camera lenses so far as I know of. Aside from that, thank you guys very much for watching, and remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell button as well. You get notified every single time I upload. If you do have any question about the device, do drop me a comment down below or just follow me on my Instagram and Twitter. Links down below so you guys can have a chat with me or ask for my opinion, how this phone is, how does this phone do that, or just ask me a question on Twitter. I'm actually happy to reply. And this is Mark here. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.